my final thoughts on how I may or may not use these shoes. We have the Welcome along to Kiwi's shoe review. Today we have the New Balance FuelCell TC to test out. So I got these shoes recently because I nabbed them for a bargain off the New Balance store and thought I would give them a crack. So I did do a quick video after my first run, and here that is. Right, so just got back from my first run in these, the New Balance FuelCell TCs, which is for training competition, I think. It's New Balance's training carbon plated shoe. Quite a high stack, as you can see. I'll give the details later, but initial impressions, not a big fan. I almost turned around after the first K because it felt that weird. They're quite unstable, I felt. To be fair, by the end of the run, which was just a 30-minute easy run, about 4:15 pace, I was feeling better, but something still wasn't quite right. I did a few strides to kind of test out how they felt at pace, and they still feel a fast shoe. So for the right person, they will be a fast shoe. I just wasn't loving them enough at a slightly slower pace. To be fair, that's not what they're made for, so I'm still going to have to give them another crack. But yeah, initial impressions, a little bit unstable. The fit was pretty good though, they were comfortable. But yeah, we'll have to touch base and come back and see what I feel a bit later on after some more time in them. As promised in the video, I'll quickly give you a rundown on the details of the shoes. The New Balance FuelCell TC has 30mm of the FuelCell foam in the heel, 22mm in the front, creating an 8mm drop, which is very similar to a lot of the racing shoes, the Nike Next Percent being of an example out there currently. The FuelCell foam combined with the carbon plate, the mesh upper, and the significant amount of rubber on the bottom of the shoe comes in at 281 grams for a US size 10.5, which is quite heavy, same as the Nike Zoom Fly, but if this is going to be a racing shoe for anyone, that's quite a lot. The shoe does fit true to size, and that mesh upper is really comfortable. I have quite a wide foot and it hugs it nicely, but there's still plenty of room in the toe box as well. All that rubber on the bottom does have its benefits, and I found the shoe super grippy in wet and damp conditions. And the price might scare a few people. It's 300 New Zealand dollars, which for a training shoe is a lot. Even with a carbon plate, I'm not sure if most people are going to be able to fork out that much for a shoe like this. So I've now taken these guys on 3 different ones. The first being the 30-minute first impression that I talked about before. The second being a 5K time trial tempo effort. And the third being a 24K long easy run. So in total, I've done about 35Ks in these shoes, and I've tried them at all different paces and all different styles of running and different things on them. So these shoes operate really well at pace. Like I say, in that first run, didn't really like them. May have just been because my legs were tired. When I pop them on for the 5K, man, they pop. They work really well at that kind of 3:30 pace that I was running at, which is probably around my 10K pace. So moving along, and yeah, they feel really good at that pace. They feel stable. They don't feel quite as responsive as, say, the Nike Next Percent, which I've done a bit of running in, but they certainly feel like they want to propel you forward, and they're a fast shoe. Even back at that 4-minute K pace, 4-minute 10 pace, when I was doing my long run, they felt really good. However, and there is a bit of a downside, the shoe is not going to help you when you are tired. I found that it becomes really unstable and really unforgiving when you start getting tired and your foot placement isn't necessarily perfect and your whole gait isn't right. So when you're feeling fine and you're keeping a good stride and good cadence and good turnover and everything like that, the shoe performs really well, which is really what it's made for, right? It's made for going fast for a pretty good runner. But that last kind of 4K of that 24K run that I did, where started to get a bit tired, it became quite difficult to keep the shoe stable and keep my turnover strong. And the shoe wasn't good for that. I run in the Hoka Clifton, and that is a shoe that's super forgiving. It doesn't really matter how good or bad your stride is. It's going to kind of give you the support that you need either way. However, this is not. Now, this isn't a bad thing. I think that this shoe is really going to be good for those kind of tempo efforts. And it is a carbon plated training shoe. In theory, it's a bit heavier than a standard racing shoe. You could use it for racing. It's certainly kind of made for still going fast, so it'd be fine for that. My final thoughts on how I may or may not use these shoes. So I probably will use these shoes, but only for a very particular purpose. I will not race in these shoes. If I'm going to race maybe 5K or under, I'm going to do it in the Adidas Adizero, a nice low profile shoe where I can feel the ground. I like that for short races. 10K, I'm kind of torn between either the Adizero or I'll wear the Next Percent, and then anything up, I'll wear the Next Percent, so that half marathon kind of distance. This shoe I'm going to use for my longer tempo effort runs, so any runs where I've got those kind of 20 to 40, even 60-minute kind of tempo blocks within the run. I think this is the shoe that's going to be perfect for it. It performs really, really well at that pace and performs really, really well when you are able to kind of keep control of your gait and you're not tired. So that's where I'm going to use it. I wouldn't recommend this shoe as an everyday trainer because if you're tired, I think it's too unforgiving and unstable for that. But using it in that tempo kind of pace when you're feeling good and you're a reasonably competent runner, they'll be perfect. I think these shoes are made for reasonably strong runners. So I'm kind of not awesome, but not terrible at the same time. I've worked a lot on my kind of gait and stuff recently, so I'm able to kind of run in more neutral shoes, which I never was able to. And these work for me until I start to get tired, and then they become a really, really hard shoe to turn over. So if you pronate too much or you don't have the best of gaits or something like that, I wouldn't recommend using this shoe. However, neutral runners or strong runners wanting a really, really solid, fast training shoe, I think this one's the money. Now, it was $300, which is quite expensive for a running shoe and probably too expensive for a training shoe. However, I picked it up for far less than that on a sale, $180, which was nice. So if you can pick it up for that kind of price, then 100% recommend. But at the full retail price, probably won't be going for this shoe. As a carbon plated training shoe, I think it fits in the same vein as the Nike Zoom Fly, which I personally haven't run in, so I can't give a comparison. But if it's anything like the Next Percent, but a training version, I think that this shoe is probably going to be pretty similar. So I guess if you're wanting something like that, either go with the brands that you like and you're running already, or go for the one that you can find cheapest, because I think it's probably going to be pretty similar.